Hey everyone. Hi. I'm on a delay with the dogs, I guess. Hi everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. We're here today for our Sunday edition of Cricut Chat, which is called Brunch with Joy. We focus on the Cricut Joy, because joy on a Sunday, right? And we are going to make some beautiful Easter signs. I've already cut out a few, and I'm going to cut out one, and I'm going to do this start to finish, so you'll know exactly what you need and what you need to do for to make a really pretty long sign that you can put, like a porch sign, you can put on your front porch. I've been doing these long signs for quite a while now. It's like, I think it's been almost a year that I've been doing them with the joy, and I really love them. And I put them outside of my door, and I know that people appreciate it because my neighbors have said stuff to me about it, and I hope that you will find some joy in this project. Now, listen, before I start, some of you might be new, so I wanted to just kind of introduce myself and introduce this group. So my name is Rita, and I am a product expert for Cricut, which means that I work with Cricut. I don't work for Cricut. And we have this daily program. It's called Cricut Chat. We meet every weekday at 9 a.m. And we do Cricut projects. We also have a date night, which is on Saturday night. So we had that last night, date night at 7 o'clock. And these are all live shows, and you can come and comment on the shows and get to meet some other people that really love cricketing. And we do all kinds of projects. So just to give you an example, this is something we did last night. Not a regular mom, I'm a dog mom, and this is infusible ink using the Cricut mug press, but also sublimation photo that I did of my dear Odie. So that's what we do on Cricut Chat during the week. And if you can't make it because you work or whatever, I just wanted to let you know that we have a YouTube channel. You can find it by going to YouTube to Miss Rita to the Rescue. And I'd encourage you to subscribe because all the videos that we do are listed there. Now, the chat part is not listed on YouTube, but you can follow along. And it's a really nice group. I love this group, and I'm really happy to have developed or to have been taken a part in developing a nice community of friends that like to craft with their Cricut. So I hope you'll join me. Let's see. So today we're going to be working on the joy. We always work on the joy on Sunday. That's our thing. On Mondays, we do mystery materials. On Fridays, we do a 3D craft. And on Sunday, we do Cricut Joy. So today's no different. We're going to be working on some Easter signs. Now, I have done these signs before, as I've mentioned. I just want to show you. This is a sign that I did. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Lori. Luck of the Irish. This was done last month, right? And I've done Valentine's, I've done Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the good folks over at Cricut have given us all of these wonderful graphics. So these are graphics that can be found in Design Space, and they are free if you are a Cricut Access member. So Cricut Access membership, there's a lot of misinformation going around about this program. I personally love this program because you pay a monthly fee, and then you have like literally thousands and thousands and thousands of images that you can choose from. You don't have to worry about paying per image. Now, there are people that do their own designs of images, but I'll be really frank. I often will take an existing image and make it so that it works with a decision that I want. And I look for that inspiration in Design Space. So for me, I love Cricut Access because of all of the fonts, all of the images. Plus, I get discounts, and I get discounts on purchases on Cricut. You don't have to be a Cricut Access member to work with Cricut Design Space. I think there's a misunderstanding out there. Cricut Design Space is free. It costs for access to get access to features, including all of the images and the fonts. So that's just something you might want to consider. Most of the projects, I say most, it's usually like only one a week that isn't from Cricut Access. So 7 days a week, I'm coming to you live on Facebook and bringing you a project for Cricut, for your Cricut. So I use all the machines. I have a maker, I have Easy Press, I have the mug press, the Joy, and Explore, and a printer. And so I have all the machines, and I love working with Cricut. So I hope that you will join me during the week or on YouTube. So today we're going to do these long form signs, and we're going to be using smart vinyl. So here are the smart vinyls that I chose, or that I picked out. These are just kind of, I actually already cut with this, but this is smart vinyl. It's called Threads. I really liked it, so I thought I would cut on there, but I also chose some other really fun, like light colors for Easter signs. So I've got a mint. Yep, I've got mint, light blue, and light purple. Okay, so these come at a length of 48 inches, and my signs are, I'll tell you where I got them, but you will need a piece of wood or something else. You could choose whatever you want, but I get these pieces of wood because I have a contractor that comes and does stuff at my house, and he often uses this. This is primed wood, but you can get it at the Home Depot. I like to work on primed wood because I think the vinyl sticks to it better. And if it is not sticking, that might be that you need to paint or prime the wood that you're using. So he uses this wood, and then he cuts me off these long strips of them. They're usually about 30. This one here is 36 inches long, and they're about 4.5 inches wide. And so this makes a perfect sign for doing on the Joy, because remember, the Joy can only go as wide as 4.5 inches with the smart materials, but it can go very, very long. And so this is a perfect way to get yourself into using the smart materials and doing a really long sign and still fitting it on a piece of wood. There, I have 2 signs that I'm going to do today. I want to show you start to finish how we get them from Design Space. So here's just a sampling of the designs that are available in Cricut Design Space. I wanted to show you. There's even one that is, instead of being vertical, it's horizontal. Now these all come in as black, but you can cut them in any color that you want, and they do come in that you might need to resize them depending on the size of your wood. Let me save this, and I will provide you with this file so that you can look at it, but I'm going to show you where you can get it from. Okay, so I'm going to start at the home page. Now, I am working on my iPad. You do not need an iPad to work with Cricut Design Space. However, it is simple enough to do. You just need to download the correct software to use it. So for the iPad software, you would go to the application, the App Store for Apple, and download it from there. It's called Cricut Design Space. There's also another application in the App Store. It's called the Cricut Joy app. That is a great little program, but it doesn't, I don't think, does this stuff. So I would avoid that and use the regular Design Space app. Now, a couple of things to note about working with an iPad and the Joy is that you have to connect the Joy to the iPad. And you do that simply by going to your settings and go to Bluetooth. And right there, you would choose Joy. And it would connect it, which means that I can now direct the Joy to cut from my iPad, okay? And let's see, what else do you need to know? Also, you need to know, and let me just go here. When you sign into your Design Space, when you click on your avatar, make sure that your machine selection is set for Joy. I work with all the machines, and so I need to do this often, because if it's not selected, it will not be able to cut. And often there are parameters when, in particular, like for insert cards or for these long signs, that you won't be able to cut if you're doing it on a Maker or an Explorer. So make sure that you've chosen Cricut Joy. All right. And so here we are at the opening page. I'm right here at the home page. If I wanted to go to the canvas, here is my Design Space file, okay? But I'm going to the home page, and I'm going to choose New Project, and I'm going to just click on that that plus sign with the circle in it, and you'll see I get my canvas. I'm back to my canvas, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start looking for images. I'm going to bring you down so I don't have to hold up the iPad too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch on this image plus. And when I do that, I get like a sort of outline here. I'm going to go to highlighted categories and choose image sets. These are groups of images that are, they're grouped by a theme. So for instance, the Friends TV show, that's a group of images, and you see Disney, and then you can go down and see different things like Cricut Cutie cartoons or Passover finger puppets. So they're all of these, and these are grouped by image. So you're able to see all the different images that happen to be in them. And when you click on them, so this one's called multi-layer mandalas, and you can look through here and see all these lovely mandalas that are in here, and all you need to do is click on it and insert it. But we're not doing mandalas today, so we are going to do signs, long form signs. So I think I'm just going to put the word long in there. Yeah. So if I put the word long, I see all of these images. So I've got, here we go, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. These are just like no holiday. They're just long cut. There's Passover. There's the Easter ones, and Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. So we would be choosing the Easter, but if you're celebrating Passover, here is a group of Passover signs that you could also make. So there, I just want to point those out to you. So here is the Easter set, and you could choose whichever ones you want. There's a hoppy, I know that Emmy was saying she wanted to make a hoppy Easter sign, and there's this one that I made that has a really adorable bunny. So let's choose that, and there's even these horizontal, non-vertical, right? So look, the bunny went this way, or follow the bunny, or bunny trail, or Easter egg hunt. So there's a lot of those really fun, and we could do that if we wanted to. So we can choose one of those and just choose whichever ones you like. You can remove them later, okay? There are also some really nice religious ones. The He is Risen. Pardon me. Or just Happy Easter. So, I actually did cut out the He is Risen, this one here. So why don't we just pull in that. So we pull them in just by hitting insert. Now it will kind of get crowded on your screen. So the first thing that I do is sort of move them all around. And then I also use that pinching so I can see everything on there. Okay. Now, before you go to cut these, you have to decide which ones you want to make. And you also will have to make sure that you adjust for your signs. Now, I said I had 2 signs, and I actually wrote down the measurements for my signs because I always forget. So I have one that is only 4.5 inches wide, but it's long, 36 inches. And then I have one that's 7 inches wide, but shorter at 28 inches. The unfortunate thing here is that at 7 inches, I won't be able to cut that wide on my Joy because it only goes as wide as 4.5. You could, by the way, if you have another machine besides a Joy, you could cut these by actually breaking them up into groups and then cutting them from there. We've done that before, and so if you want to learn how to do that, there is a video on the YouTube channel that explains how to do that, like on a maker. But these ones we're doing on the Joy. So let's have a look at this one. Now, if you brought a bunch of them in and you just want to focus on one, you can go down here to layers. And when you do that, it will show you, bring you this toolbar right here. And this layer is to show you all of the groups of images. So you can click on the image and choose this eyeball. And when you press on the eyeball, it just hides the image for you. So make sure you select that image and then do hide. So let's focus on this one here, and you hit layers to move it back. So this one here, let's have a look at how long it is and how wide it is. See if it's going to fit for my sign. So I do that by hitting edit down here. And when I hit edit, another toolbar comes up from the bottom. And you'll see here that this is where you can change the color. So I want to see, maybe I'd like to see what it's going to look like in lavender, which is what I have here. And you could change the color, and then you can also change the width and the height. So in this case, I have the width is set for almost 4 inches, which is good for the 4.5 inch sign, or the 4.5 inch piece of wood. So, but I want it to be longer because it's set for a height of 24. Unfortunately, when you start to change one width, start to change one parameter, the other one will change automatically. Okay, so here we go. It's locked, and that if I went and changed to a different height, let's say 35 because my sheet is 35 inches. My sign is 36 inches, so 35 might be the height that I want. But you'll see that I have this little triangle here. That triangle means that there's a problem with this image. And I bet you can tell me what the problem is. The problem is that the width has exceeded what is capable of being cut on the Joy. So let's say I do want to keep that height of 35 inches, but I need to change the width. So I am going to click on the width, but if I go and change it to 4.5, let's say, that's great, but my height has changed, okay? So let us, first of all, let me change it to, let's say, 4 inches sounds like a good width. All right, but the height is 24, not quite 25 inches, and my board is 36 inches long. So I want to be able to use up the whole board because I like the way that it looks when it's longer, okay? So what I need to do is unlock the image. See that little lock that's right there? It's also up here on the image. So you can hit on either one. So if you click on that, it unlocks the image. What that does is it allows me to change the height without changing the width, okay? So I can now change my sign to, let's say, 34. And this, you need to be careful when you're working with this because it can make your image look a little stretched, but I think that this is going to look really nice. Maybe not, I think maybe I might choose green, but I like it. It has a little bunny, it has these eggs, it looks really festive, and it even has carrots. So I think I like this size. I'm going to close that lock because I don't want to accidentally change the parameters. I've done that before. So I close the lock, and now my sign is going to be cut from a 4-inch width to a 34-inch height. That works perfectly for my first sign. So I am going to go ahead and cut this. All I need to do is hit Make It. Now, you'll notice because of what my image is, the length of it, I only have the choice of cutting it with smart materials. Smart materials are designed for the Joy, and they allow you to cut very, very long pieces such as this. So here you go. Here is an example of a smart material, and it's on a roll like this, and it comes in different size rolls, but the colors generally come in at 48 inches, which is perfect for this sign. And we have these different colors. So let me choose this green one. I like this green one. So I'm going to take it out of the box. And I'm going to choose without mat, okay, because it's a smart material. Now, at this place, when you go to this screen, this is the place that if you need to make any adjustments, such as moving the image a little bit to the right or left or something, you can do that. You can also go up here to where it says one mat and do something like, for instance, change the project copies. Or if you were going to do this in iron-on, I don't know why you'd need such a long iron-on, we would use this for mirroring. So, but right now we're just going to cut one of these, and then we're going to hit continue. And we come to the last screen, the screen that we cut from, okay? And you'll see that it has materials that are highlighted. I have smart material, smart vinyl removable. I have smart vinyl permanent, and there's the iron-on again. Now, if you want to see them all, you can click on all materials and it will show you all of the materials that can cut with the Cricut Joy. Okay, but I'm going to choose Smart Vinyl. This is a permanent Smart Vinyl, and we're all set to go. It's telling me I need to make sure that my fine point blade is in the clamp, which it is, and then I can load the material into the machine. So let me just go up here. Now, what you do is you take the roll, you can keep it rolled up like this, and you're going to guide it underneath these two tabs. And as soon as you do that, the machine's going to take it all in, and even if it's a little bit crinkled, which I did put it in kind of crinkle, it like resets it so that it is going to be straight and cut fine. Why it does this is it wants to make sure that you have enough material to cut your project, because there's nothing worse than trying to cut your project and finding out you don't have enough material. So that's how it does that. It realigns it, and it makes sure, do you have enough material in there? And that can sometimes happen where you don't have enough material, and then what will happen is the machine will tell you need to load in a longer piece of material for this project, or you'll have to go and change your image, or do whatever, add either different vinyl or change your image. Now all I need to do at this point, and you'll see here that my Joy is blinking, I don't know if you can see it, but here you go, is I need to hit go. And then once I hit go, you'll notice that I get a little like a pie chart that tells me that it's cutting and how far through the cutting it's going. So it's going to go, it goes fairly fast, I think. And it just starts from the top and then just cuts all the way down. The Joy can also do infusible ink. It can do paper. It can do regular vinyl that you might have on the roll. It does sticker paper and all kinds of other fun materials, including cards and what have you. And we've done a lot of those things. We've done pens and infusible ink pens and all of those fun things on the show over the past year. So since the Joy's been live, I really love this little machine. Now, if you guys don't have one of these machines, I do want to tell you that I am running a promotion right now where I am giving away a Joy and a bunch of stuff that goes with the Joy. Lots of extras. So you'll get a couple of rolls of Smart Vinyl, you'll get infusible ink, you'll get iron-on, a couple of card mats, some pens, and some insert card box. So all you need to do, and I'll put it in the description of this video, okay? But all you need to do is follow the link on that I'm going to put in the description, and you need to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Now, if you don't have Instagram or you don't have Facebook, you can still enter. So the main entry is with YouTube, and so I really want to get as many people on my YouTube channel as possible, because there's just such an amazing amount of videos there and lots of information, and it's really good to have there. So I'm going to so it actually started at midnight last night, so just today, and it's going to run until April 10th, which is the day that we have our Zoom meeting. We have a once a month Zoom meeting where we have a theme this year. This month in April is going to be about April showers and May flowers. So anything that you might have that you want to show people, the rest of the group, that has to do with April showers and May flowers, I want for you to bring to the Zoom. It doesn't cost you anything to watch or even to participate in the Zoom call. It's just a fun way that we can all get together once a month and sort of just chit chat. Okay, so mark your calendar for April 10th. Okay, so this is still cutting out, and you can see that, right? But it's going to take a little bit of time. So once you do cut it out, what we're going to need to do is weed it. So I just want to show you these two. So here are two that I weeded. So I need for the weeding part, I am going to need a weeding tool. You don't have to use this weeding tool, but this is the one that I like to use. It is a Cricut weeding tool. This is actually the weeding tool kit, I think it's called. No, it's called the True Control Weeding Kit. That's what it's called, and you can buy this on Cricut. And so this is the one I use. I also use this a lot. This is called the True Control knife. I like these two things. You can use whatever you like. In fact, you could use a safety pin if you want, and so you can do whatever you like, but you will need something to weed with. Okay, you're also going to need some transfer tape. Now I generally get my transfer tape in the roll, and I just cut it at a width of 4.5 inches. So that's what I did with this roll, and I do reuse this transfer tape. So if you handle it properly, you can reuse it several times. So I just cut it width of 4.5, and it's already 12 inches, and then I overlap it on the sign. So that's what you're going to need. And then of course you're going to need a piece of wood. Okay, so a piece of wood or something, some sort of blank that you're going to use. Now I'm thinking this might be done. Yes, it's done. So what we're going to do is, once it's gotten down to the end, we are going to be prompted to unload it. So we'll unload it, and it will just spit it out. So we can close this, move it away. That's what I like about the Joy. It's so portable. So here is our sign that cut out. I've got Frankie cat hairs on it because he likes to spend time on this part of my desk. So here it is all the way up. Now I haven't used the entire roll, so I'm going to not waste it because we don't like to waste materials, and I'm just going to cut it off. I'm sure I'll find something to do with this. I don't know, probably 13 inches. I'll find something to do with that. So I'm going to just put it back in its box and save it for later. Okay, so I also don't need my iPad anymore, so I'm going to move that over too. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to weed this sign. So I have to move the camera so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so we're just going to, I start I guess at the bottom, but you can start at the top. You can start anywhere you like. And so we're just going to pull off. Now this is just the extra. Now you'll see right here at the middle that there is a very thin line. Look at how beautiful that is. So I'm just going to cut here because I don't want to pull this vinyl. I want to come back to it, and I'm going to do that here as well. And all the way up. And what you want to avoid is having the vinyl come back and stick on itself, because that could cause a problem, and then you'll have to fuss with the vinyl. So I often will just sort of cut these pieces of vinyl because I don't want this to happen, you see? So this is just extra. I'm going to throw it over here on the side of my desk. And where's my weeding tool? I'm going to continue on here. And you'll see this part of the sign is where it says happy. So again, I'm just cutting because it makes it easier for me, and I hate when the tape sort of comes back on itself. So here we go. There are some letters here that are not pulling up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully weed this so that these letters, which says happy, are all going to pull up correctly. Here we go. Okay, there it is. There's the P, and there's the other P, and there is the Y. Now, I do have some more weeding to do, but I want to get the bulk of it done. So here is that. Look at how beautifully thin that cutout is. So it's just a matter of being able to pull the majority of it off. And again, if it's overwhelming, then just cut it off. If it gets overwhelming to you, just cut it off like this. And then you don't have to worry about it. So you can put it over on the side or put it in your trash can or whatever. And then continue on with the weeding. And we still have some weeding to do, so I'm going to go back and look at all of the letters and also our little bunny. So I'm going to weed this guy. So cute. He looks a little angry to me, but he's still a bunny. I don't know. Some bunnies maybe are a little angry. So there is our beautiful line. So pretty. And then also these letters are fancy. They're like the lyrical letters from the font Lyrical Letters. So I like this style. I don't know what it's called, but I like this style. So I'm just going through and making sure I weed everywhere that needs to be weeded. This is a very soothing part of the project. I like to weed. And I just put all of it in my hand as I'm going along. Now we're already up to the top. And we got to do those eggs. And then I also have to finish this part here. Okay. So let's see. We're going to just go in here with the eggs. There is one little part that looks a little hairy, a little hard to weed. So I'm going to show you. And to be honest, if we don't do it right, it kind of doesn't matter because you know what? It's sort of it's a little tiny detail that nobody's going to know wasn't there or was there if it doesn't work out. Okay. So the detail is that in this band, there are these circles that are cut out. So what I'm doing with my finger is making sure that that vinyl is really good on there. I'm going to also get rid of all this vinyl on my hand because ick. Too much. Still stuck. All right. Thanks for sticking with me while I do that. So I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to try to preserve those dots that are in the middle of that band. Just by trying to do it slowly, which I did. Yay. And I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Hopefully I'll have the same luck. Yes, I did, even though I have this piece of vinyl trying to chase me around. And the third one. There we go. So now we have our sign already all weeded out. Doesn't it look pretty? So pretty, right? I'm going to go up a little bit higher just simply because I want you to see the next step. So next up is we need to add the transfer tape because that's how we're going to get our very long sign off of the backing. Okay, and we'll get it off the backing and then we'll put it on our piece of wood. So we need transfer tape. And we also need long transfer tape. But the cool thing about using transfer tape is you can use the 12-inch and just overlap it, okay? So I'm going to need probably about 3 pieces of this 12-inch long transfer tape, and then I'm going to overlap it a little bit. So that way I know that everything is covered, and I'm going to be able to pick up this design all in one piece. So I'm just going to remove the backing from the transfer tape. I want to make sure that I have it up here. And this is how I like to put the transfer tape on this sign or these types of sign. I kind of like do it from the side. So here is the side like this, and then you can just slowly work the transfer tape over. Now sometimes you'll get these little bumps in here. That's okay. It's not going to affect your finished product, and I'm going to show you how to kind of get most of those out anyway. Let's do our next one. I am going to peel away the backing. Remember I told you this can be reused. We can reuse it for another sign as long as we save it when we save it. And I usually put it like on the side of my desk, like on the edge of my desk. So that's all you have to do. It's really sticky. And it can be used over and over again. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do this part of the sign. And then the last part is here. There we go. And I'm overlapping it just enough so that it's going to then be like it's all one piece. All right. So now I have the transfer tape, and I need to get this little tool. This is a scraper. You can use a scraper. You can use a credit card. You can use whatever you like. But what you need to do is you need to do what's called burnish. So what that means is I'm going down and I'm making sure that all of those little bubbles are out, but most importantly, I'm trying to make sure that the transfer tape is sticking to the vinyl that we cut out. And this is an important part of the process. And it might be skippable in your head, but really you'll kick yourself if you mess it up just because you didn't burnish it. Now there is, if you didn't do a certain part correctly, there is a way to get around that, and I can show you that. I'm sure I'll have a problem because I always do. Vinyl is not my medium of choice. Paper is, but I do like to make these vinyl projects because I know they're very popular. So I struggle, and it's not super easy. I'm not going to lie and tell you that it's so simple to do these things, but with enough practice, you will get very good at it. It's just not the medium that I choose to work with all the time. So, all right, so I have burnished it. Now it's time for me to take my sign. And actually, look at, it says Happy St. Patrick's Day on one side. I'm going to use both sides of this sign so I can get both sides out. And this is what it's going to look like on my sign. Isn't that great? I'm a little worried over here because it bent, but I think it will be okay. So now we're going to turn our project around or upside down, and we're going to start to peel away the transfer tape from the backing. Now we'll tell you that Smart Materials, the backing on Smart Materials are very thick, and so you do have to you do have to sort of get it going, and it is a little sort of uncomfortable or a little bit difficult to get it started. So, so you can use things like this to sort of help it come off on the transfer tape. And then kind of once you get it started, it sort of all goes pretty well from there. But you might end up with things like this, where there's like a little piece that's still sticking on the backing. So if you have that, just sort of guide with your whatever you choose, with your weeder or whatever, and go slow and sort of roll it off. So that way everything is going to transfer, that's why it's called transfer tape, transfer onto the tape. So go slow. It's okay to go slow. And just expect that, you know, you missed an area. And you guys, the folks that watch me all the time know that I'm going to say this, but you'll do better than me because you'll be more patient. I'm trying to fit this into, an hour. And I always like to do my projects in less than an hour. So you'll be more patient with it. But it should go fairly easily if you follow these directions. And look, we're almost up to the E in Easter. Well, we have an A that has to go in there. Okay, now if it helps you, you can cut this if this is becoming a little too bulky for you. And you do want to, make sure that as you start, see, it's kind of like, it's real thick. But you want to make sure over here, I know it's not in view, but you want to make sure that this doesn't get stuck, the end doesn't get stuck on something as you're moving forward, okay? And we are almost to the E. There's the E. And then we just have the happy and the eggs. Whoop. Now, interesting. So here the eggs, there are those little dots that we made ultra sure that they were going to transfer, right, when we weeded. So I am going to make sure I really press hard on there so that those dots will come off, and some of them might not come off. If they don't, see, I got one and then I got some others. So I think I might try to use, and again, if it doesn't work, then it wouldn't be a huge loss, okay? And we can just pretend that it worked. But don't, lose sleep over the fact that you missed a couple of dots. It's not a big deal. And nobody would even know that they were there. But I did manage to save them just by, using my weeding tool. And, okay. And, of course, I stuck myself on there. Okay, so now it's done. We did it. Woo! Now for the brave part that we take a huge breath and try to do. So we're going to flip it over because remember this is the sticky part, right? And so we're going to flip it over, and I want to sort of visually hold it above and make sure that I am centering it. Some people like to sort of fold like this, but I kind of like to do it this way. I'm not touching the board, but I'm just kind of giving it a visual. I want it to be in the middle of the board. And so I think this will look good. And I'm just going to very gingerly, very carefully lay it down. All right. And then I can come back and press again with my tool, with my scraping tool or whatever you choose to use. And in this time, I'm trying to transfer it from the transfer tape to the board. Okay, so that's why you use transfer tape. When I first started working with vinyl, which was like maybe 2013, and I tell you, I really didn't like it. But when I first started, I'm like, how are people getting their signs all like so perfect? I didn't even know what transfer tape was, but I learned over time. Now, you don't have to use Cricut transfer tape. I think there are other people that use different things, but I've always used it and I like it. I'm used to it. It is very sticky. Some other people use some other things that isn't quite as sticky. So you use whatever works for you, okay? All right. So I think I'm good. Now I have to take the transfer tape off. And it's a rookie mistake. Sometimes people leave the transfer tape on. I've seen that, like with a car decal. Kind of a rookie mistake. So what I'm doing is I'm just lifting. I'm starting at the bottom. And I am just sort of kind of rolling it off. I'm not lifting and pulling like this because that is just going to make the vinyl sort of pull up. So I kind of roll it off like this. Oh, this is coming out really nice. I love this mint color. And just looks so pretty. Now I see when I'm doing this, there's just like kind of like a little pull up here. So just use your finger. We're going to press on it at the end, but just use your finger to sort of allow it. Now, this is where we're going to save this transfer tape for the next one. I'm going to put it on the side and start with the next piece. And I see that it's not quite on there. Again, just use your fingers as a guide. And there we go. Doing good. Things are coming out really great. And I'm not going to say I hope it doesn't work out, because last time I did that, I ended up with a problem. And boy, it took some time to figure it out. So I'm just happy that it's doing it correctly. There's my second piece of transfer tape. And so now I've got my third and final piece. I'm just going to roll. I'm assuming that when we get to the little dots that we might have a problem. So I have a little problem right here. So I will come back and address that. There's the happy. And here comes the dots. Let's see what happens. The dots came off. Yay! All right. Woo! Perfect. Yay! All right. So right here, I have like kind of, I can see that it's sort of lifted. So I am going to use my weeding tool and sort of lift it up and lay it back down and make sure that it's on there really well. Now over here, I'm actually going to lift up this whole thing. I hope it doesn't rip, because it had like some sort of a like a fold or a bend or in there. So this way I can make sure that that whole thing goes on there really well. Now, this is not the most perfect board in the world, and I don't know, it's got a little bit of orange paint or something like that, but I kind of like the rustic look anyway. I mean, you guys can use whatever you want, but I like this kind of rustic look. It goes with my rustic looking house. Now I'm going to make sure that I press everywhere, because this is going to go outside. And I don't want for the vinyl to somehow like have water seep in and the vinyl will start to peel. So you do need to worry about that. Other than that though, I put these out. I do not seal them. I just put them out just like that. And I'm just going back, making sure all of that. And we are done. Isn't that wonderful? And in less than an hour, we made a sign. Seriously, in less than an hour. I didn't prepare anything ahead of time. I did have all of my tools that I needed, but you could make this in less than an hour and have it outside of your house. And I really do love it. And then I could have put this out for St. Patrick's Day, which I did. And then I'm going to use this side for Easter. You could do the same thing at Halloween or Thanksgiving as well. So I hope that you consider giving this a try, because these are really fun to make. They're not difficult, and they go together fairly quickly once you kind of get the hang of it. You just need to know all those little tricks, okay? I think that is it for the day. Let's see. Tomorrow, we are back at 9 a.m. and we are going to talk about crepe paper. Now, we did a crepe paper project this week, but it was really a rather large project that didn't get cut on the machine. But crepe paper can be cut on the maker, and we're going to try it. I'm going to show you how to cut some of Leah Griffith's crepe paper, and we're going to be I'm using this book. It's called Crepe Paper Flowers, that came out. Leah came out with this in 2018, and I was very lucky to meet her and to take one of her classes back then when I was out in Utah. And it's just a beautiful book, and you can buy this on Amazon, and she also even has her own crepe paper that I do have, that I will show you how it comes and everything. And I'm going to show you now. This cannot, from what I'm told, and I read in her book, it can't be cut on the Explorer with the regular blade. You do need the rotary blade. So tomorrow, if you don't have a maker, just come so you can learn. And for the conversation, and we will be doing actually Crocus. And if I have time, so let me just show you the Crocus here. There's the Crocus. We're going to make those. And if I have time, I will also try to do a tulip. But it does show you in the book all of the steps. So we're going to be going through that. And yes, the tissue paper I'm going to make, I made earlier, I think last week. Yeah, I made a tissue paper, garland out of 3 different color, like Easter color garland. I'm actually waiting for my new tissue paper to come in to show you that. I think that's set for not tomorrow, set for Tuesday. Okay, so we'll be doing that. That doesn't involve the machine, but it is a fun little craft working with tissue paper. So join me tomorrow, if you can, to talk about crepe paper and how to use it for flowers with your Cricut maker. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sorry I wasn't in the conversation too much, but I'm sure if you're new and you said so, that all of my friends that come and visit me have said hello and welcomed you to our group. If you want more, remember I have a YouTube channel. I also have a Facebook group, actually 2 groups. I have a Just Cricut Joy with Miss Rita, and then we have Cricut Chat with Miss Rita. Both of those groups are free to join. You're welcome to join up, and there's a lot of conversation that goes on, a lot of sharing of projects, and it's a lot of fun in those 2 groups. Thanks everybody for coming today. Oh yes, and you could share the video. Thank you for doing that if you share. And again, I will come back and put in the description the link to get your name in for the giveaway. Thanks everybody. You have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I'll see you again tomorrow at 9. Bye.